Hi, very good morning and warm welcome. It's Dean from Avstar. As promised, the latest magnetic pole position has been done for you. We've had the SD card out this morning, and as you can probably see there very faintly, the distance covered is 3.1 miles. For those of you that are tracking it on your own Google Maps, you might be interested in the following longitude and latitude. They are as follows: 81 degrees, 20 hours, 24 minutes, 40 seconds north, by the longitude 111 degrees, 44 hours, 31 minutes, 41 seconds east. You know, for a lot of people, the migrating magnetic pole is not a really big deal. And that's because the majority of people that, you know, are of the understanding that the poles are migrating on our planet believe that the only thing it's going to affect is a compass and maybe navigation, but it'll do a lot more than affect compasses and simple navigation by compass, because it will in fact inevitably lead to affecting GPS and satellites that are protected at the moment by our magnetosphere out in orbit around our Earth. Simple fact is when the magnetosphere weakens, they become more susceptible to CCU strikes or CCP strikes on their main processors on board the satellites, which can affect the navigation of the satellite itself, but more so the onboard computing of whatever that satellite is tasked to do. So as our magnetosphere weakens, more cosmic rays are able to penetrate the delicate electronics within even our satellites, and then in turn affect GPS as well as a result. It's not just that, it goes a little bit further than that, because it has the possibility to increase cancer rates across all biodiversities, and that includes plants, shrubs, vegetation, as well as every animal and insect on this planet. So that's really how important the magnetosphere is. Now, the magnetosphere is just a component of the magneto that generates the dipoles first and then inflates our magnetosphere, or our protective radiation shield that we naturally have on this planet. And when one of those collapses on a planet and doesn't ever recover, and why would I say that to start with? Oh, okay, we had an excursion 12,000 years ago where the poles didn't reverse, but the magnetosphere would have reduced in physical strength and protection. But 780,000 years ago, we had a completed reversal. But before that, every 300 to 350,000 years, our Earth would go through a magnetic pole reversal. Almost like clockwork. So something changed to the core of our Earth and the way the magneto works for it to throw it off its cyclical reversals that it used to take place every 300,000 years, and this time around add another 500,000 years to it, another 500,000 years. See, planets like Mars had their cores possibly solidify. Their volcanic activity did stop, and that was a probable sign of solidification in the core. And of course, it lost its magnetosphere. Thankfully, we do have active volcanoes, and that tells us quite clearly that our core is not solidified. But then, if that is the case, why is the magnetic pole completed reversal 500,000 years late? Something doesn't add up, and there's something else possibly taking place. But not only will it affect the next coming pole reversal, and we're in the midst of that, we haven't gone through the accelerative stage of that, but not only will it affect navigation and satellites and GPS and all those lovely things that we enjoy about having satellites orbit our Earth, and not only will it increase cancer rates across all biodiversities on our planet, but it will also change the climatic behaviour of our planet and the weather systems, mainly that being jet stream behaviour. And as we have showed in previous videos, the jet streams are no longer holding the positions of where they was 30 years ago, which on the comparison of the numbers of years that we've been talking about, this is pretty small. It means that it's an indication that something is absolutely accelerating with regards to this anomaly that's taking place, the magnetic pole reversal. And that is not good. When you look at all three of those things, it means that, you know, things are going to become very difficult for us to continue our normal way of life on this planet, especially when it comes to, you know, using the arable remaining land that we have, and it is reducing as these climatic events change, as our jet streams fragment from polar regions to tropical regions, both northern and southern hemispheres. It means that there is a lot more yet to come in terms of misery for us, unfortunately. And the very dependence on food production to feed 8 billion people is every day becoming a threat greater than the day before. It is no secret that we are losing arable land to climatic events. You know, we are seeing floods, you know, that happen in such a magnitude that the levels of water overwhelm sewage systems that have previously been able to cope with moderate levels of floods. But what we're seeing is something on a complete new scale, and our infrastructure in a lot of even the third world countries and first world countries clearly and simply become overwhelmed by the level and rate at which this flood water, you know, appears. So, you know, when we talk about the magnetic pole reversal, we talk about a lot of other related issues that are directly related to the cause of the poles reversing to start with. It's not just the case that it will affect compasses. It will, even though the subject is not widely discussed or even known about. It will, at some point, have repercussions on every single human being on this planet, and not in a positive way. We are, to my knowledge, the only ones with equipment that are recording the magnetic North Pole position. Can you believe that? Or at least we are the only ones that are prepared to reveal it to the public on the basis that, you know, we all do a little bit to chip in here and there and help, you know, the cause along. And that's quite alarming when you think about it, because there are a lot of other organisations that could be doing a lot more, but for some reason it's not on their agenda to do so, and they're reluctant to give information with regards to the migrating poles. And that could be for a lot of reasons, and I suppose a few of you guys out there would say, well, that, Gene, is because they don't want to cause panic. This could be a problem which is much worse than what we think, and therefore they are trying to, you know, not encourage the public to panic. And obviously, you know, we could possibly see some form of disorders in cities around the world as a result of that information being leaked. But if that is the case, then this issue is far worse than what we've even discussed in this video. If the level of security around the magnetic poles reversing is at that level, then I think we can say that for sure it is a lot worse than what we anticipate. So I think it's important that we do everything we can to keep going, you know, regularly producing the magnetic pole position, and if it should increase, do it at an even faster rate than what we are. So instead of twice a month, maybe 4 times a month at some point when it does accelerate, because that will be the clear sign that things are about to get much worse at a lot faster rate. There's two ways you can help us here at this observatory. You can make a one-off payment on PayPal, and that is for whatever amount you want. Clearly, entirely up to you and not mandatory, and neither is the second way, and that is becoming one of our patrons. And both the links are down there in the description. And the only other thing for me to do is wish you, all the best. Take care of your loved ones, and I'll say what I usually do. As always, bye for now.